Hi class, and welcome to this week's lesson, Lesson 8. Last week we started on the group projects, so I hope those are going well. I did have a chance to kind of bounce around a little bit and look at some of the discussion boards. As you can guess, some groups probably were a little more on top of the discussion boards and getting the introductions and stuff going as others. So I just want to kind of, as a friendly reminder, that the group project really is that. It's a group project. It's not just one or two people doing the work. And the way the grading works, unfortunately, is that it does, you get one grade and then that does distribute to everybody in the group. So you don't want to be known as kind of the free loafer that doesn't participate yet still gets the good grade because he had the group members that did the work for you. So just a reminder, make sure that you're participating in your groups. For the most part, I didn't see any huge red flags, but as group projects sometimes go, there's always going to be that maybe one or two people. So just try and make sure you're not that person, right? Another thing that I did want to mention, I know with the group projects, there's only going to be one person submitting the assignments, and that's what I'm going to be grading, and then they'll get distributed. But I want to make sure that each of you know that you should still be trying to do the assignments, maybe on your own. A couple of reasons why that's a good idea. First, that helps you gain experience. That's the whole point of this group project, right? We're going to develop like a business plan from start to end, and I just think I never did anything like this, and I think this is a really neat project. So I think it's very valuable to be able to go through those steps. And so make sure that each week as we have these different activities that you're doing, now like the one last week where, you're talking about who's doing what and all that, that's, you do that as a group, but where you had to go in and kind of build a table with the unit conversions and figuring all that stuff out, I think it's very valuable if you didn't do that and somebody else in your group did it for you and you kind of all just looked at it and said, oh, looks good, submit it. I would really encourage you to go back and try that because you learn some really good Excel skills doing that. As I went through and kind of built it out, I did think of a couple of little tricks that I'm going to show you in Excel. I'm not going to do it in this video. I'm actually going to make a separate video and I'll post it below. So if you consider yourself an Excel guru, maybe you don't need to see these. These are just little simple tricks that as I made my spreadsheet, I thought, yeah, it'd be good to show them this because they're little things that just maybe make entry and setting up spreadsheets a little bit quicker. It's nothing like super major. So I'll make a separate video though of a kind of a screencast doing that. But yeah, make sure that you are participating and you're doing it. The other reason why it's a good idea to do it as well and not just have maybe the person that's submitting do it is because then that is how you can collaborate, right? So if you only have one person do the spreadsheet and you all give the green light, yeah, that looks good, you're kind of relying on that one person. Like, what if they made an error? So if all of you do it, and then maybe the one person uploads and everyone's, oh yeah, that's what I got, boom, then you have more confidence that your answers are correct or, that what they did was right, and then you can go ahead and submit it. So I really encourage you to do that each week going forward, making sure, because the purpose of this class is to develop those professional skills in Excel. So with that, let's go ahead and just jump right into what we're going to be doing on the group project this week. So this week we're going to be working on three things. We're going to be working on what's called a value statement, another thing that's called a mission statement, and then your strategy for your lemonade stand. And why this is so important, and I think as you read and you'll kind of understand the importance of it, is that when you're starting a business, and in any business, in fact, any company you work for, I've never had the experience of starting my own business. I've always worked for companies, but even companies that you work for, they usually have, a value statement and a mission statement because it's what they want to do. One thing that's really important is that when you start a business, you know what you want to do. If you kind of go into it with like, oh, I'm just going to do whatever, then nothing happens, right? And so, the idea this week is to kind of help the group kind of narrow what kind of lemonade stand do you want to be. You'll see some scenarios there. Do you want to be a lemonade stand that sells on the corner? Do you want to be one that sells at different events? Or do you want to be one that sells in a really high-end market somewhere where you can, charge a lot for your products? And as the weeks go on, you kind of investigate what those different market scenarios entail and all that, and it gets really interesting. So I think this project's just really cool. But this week you're going to be, talking as a group. Okay, what is our value statement, right? What are we going to bring to the customer, right? And then what's our mission statement and our strategy? The strategy portion of it is actually going to tie into your Excel document that you'll be creating this week as well. So this week there is 2 documents, just like last week, to submit. You'll submit a Word document that talks about your value, your mission, and your strategy. And then you will also submit an Excel document that has a graph of the sales by month based on each market. And so it's pretty neat. I'll show, they give you the data and it says, during the month of January, this is some market research that we did, right? And we found that you sell, people that sell on corners or in neighborhoods sell X amount. And anyways, it's kind of a neat exercise to do. You go through, you have to create a bar graph. With that, one thing I do want to make note is that the math portion this week is all about graphing in Excel. So before you start working on your group project, I really encourage you to go through the math portion first. That's going to give you a good background in making graphs in Excel. Then when you get to the group portion and you have to build a graph using the data, you'll probably be a pro at it and you'll just bust it out right away. So if you do it first, you're worried about this group project, you do it first, you might be like, oh, how do I make a bar graph? And you're Googling it and watching videos on YouTube, which isn't bad. There's tons of stuff out there that could show you how to make bar graphs, and that's just fine. But if you do the math portion first, I think it'll help you be more prepared for making that graph. So other than that, I'll leave it up to you guys and your groups. Again, as you go along in these groups, feel free to utilize me as a resource. I'm happy to answer any questions. I'm happy to step in, and if you've got somebody that's maybe not participating, I can reach out to them. And that's totally fine to do. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to support you guys. I'm here to help you out. So please do not hesitate with your questions. And I hope that you all have a good week and that you enjoy it. Bye.